Hello there, everyone, and welcome to GamePoints episode 330. The weekly get together, we talk about recent gaming news. Who's always your host, Stephen Brown, and tonight we have to get into this Bayonetta 3 voice actor pay controversy that's been going on the past few days. G4 is officially dead, and a new Mortal Kombat is coming, and I assure you, every one of you is going to hate it. But first, I want everyone here to know this is an audience interactive podcast. So if you're watching here live at Twitch TV/GamePoints Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, feel free to join in the conversation with any questions, comments, concerns, etc. you might have. Just try to keep them germane to the topics on hand. Can't watch us live? You can also catch us over a myriad of any video hosting platforms, be they Rumble, BitChute, YouTube, etc. And of course, there's a Discord you can join down below. And if you like what you see here, you know what streamers want when it comes to likes, bits, follow, subs, all that good stuff. All right, let's go ahead and get right into it. Over the past few days, Bayonetta 3 has been somewhat of a focus of a controversy going on over how much voice actors should get paid for their work and whether or not a voice actress might have lied about what her offering for it was. So I'm going to try to break this down in a way that's nice, simple, without going on too long about it. But there's a lot happening here, and the story is kind of still developing as both sides are kind of taking shots at each other. So let's start off with this here in a tweet from Helena Taylor. A bit of a misnomer to call it a tweet because in reality, what it is a four-post speech she gives using the little video recording things. For those of you who don't know, by the way, Helena Taylor, let me pause that, is the voice actress for Bayonetta in the first two games. And there was some concern whether or not she would be returning for the third one. She was hinting that she might not as late as a year ago or so, that she might not be back for it. Well, eventually it turns out that they didn't bring her back. Instead, they brought in Jennifer Hale, who is a storied voice artist. She's been in the games industry for years at this point, easily going back to the mid 90s, I believe. I think the earliest thing I can think of she was in was Baldur's Gate 2. So, been around for quite a while. A bit of controversy popped up when Helena Taylor here comes out and gives the hashtags boycott Bayonetta, and just starts trashing the company, saying she's breaking NDA by saying this stuff, but more or less claims that she was only offered $4,000 total for her role in Bayonetta 3. And she goes on to criticize both Nintendo and Platinum Games over how small this offer seems to be. And understandably so. Bayonetta is a big enough franchise that anyone doing the work for it probably does deserve more than $4,000 for the sum total of the work on there. But we don't know if Helena here is actually telling the truth. This claim was immediately dismissed as false by Hideki Kamiya, who is one of the C-suite people over at Platinum, developer of many games, Bayonetta, Okami. I think they worked on one of the Resident Evils as well. He comes out and says sad and deplorable about the attitude of untruth. That's all that I can say right now. By the way, his rules thing that he's talking about on there, this man is a notorious Twitter troll and loves to block people if they do something simple like, speak English, God forbid. He himself is a bit of a firecracker in the industry. He's kind of a dick. So we start wondering, okay, who's telling the truth here? Was Helena Taylor telling the truth about she was only offered $4,000? Or is Kamiya here telling the truth, saying all of what she's saying is a lie? Well, according to a few outlets, and we're going to go ahead and go to VGC here, but Bloomberg has also looked into this. Seems that sources are disputing Bayonetta's voice actor claims over the pay offer. Now, I know that a lot of people hear sources and immediately roll their eyes, and rightfully so. We live in an age where anyone can claim sources say anything and it means bullshit. But when you start having multiple outlets verifying independently from each other that this is what's going on, there's probably at least some truth to this. Let us turn to the article itself. However, sources cited in a Bloomberg report have now disputed some of the claims made by the voice actor, and many of which VGC can corroborate via our own sources. According to people with knowledge of the situation, as well as documentation reviewed by both Bloomberg and VGC, Platinum intended to rehire Taylor last summer. It's claimed that Platinum sought to hire Taylor for at least 5 sessions. VGC says it could have been as few as 4, with each paying $3 to $4 grand for 4 hours in the studio. So, According to the sources that these two outlets have found, Platinum was offering her $3,000 to $4,000 per session of recording, each session lasting 4 hours and having a total of 4 to 5 sessions each, bringing that total up to $15,000 to $20,000. Now you could still say that's a little bit low for a major character like Bayonetta. Sure, that is one of the things you negotiate on, and I do think it might be a little bit low. Keeping in mind, however, that Japanese game developers and voice artists also don't get paid all that much as well. That's a separate conversation entirely. Let's focus mainly on the Bayonetta issue here. This runs directly counter to Taylor's claim that she was only being offered $4,000. I've already forgot what the number was. $4,000 in total to reprise the role. So we already have a little bit of a claim here, but it looks like there could be documentation showing that's not true. Back to the article. This would have brought Taylor's fee total to $15,000, Bloomberg reports, as VGC can cover it via our own sources. One person with knowledge of the deal claimed to VGC this represented a significant increase on Taylor's fee for the second game, so she was paid way less in the second one. According to Bloomberg, the voice actor responded by asking for a 6-figure sum, as well as residuals on the game, a claim Taylor strongly denies. VGC sources echo the residuals claim, but did not mention a requested sum. In a private message exchange with VGC, Taylor called the suggestion that she was offered more than $4,000 categorically untrue. She also labeled the claims by sources she could have easily earned $15,000, an absolute lie and a complete joke. She said the following to VGC. I'd quite like to put this in the rearview mirror and leave the whole bloody franchise behind. So I think I'll just let my video stand. I spoke the truth. Platinum Games did not respond to requests for comment on this story. So, what we have here is what seems to be a pay dispute over Bayonetta. It feels like Helena Taylor thinks Bayonetta is a more popular character, and as such, she should be compensated more for it. Platinum is saying we offered her what we felt was fair compensation. Helena's making the claim that they lowballed her, whereas Platinum saying this isn't the case at all, we offered her more. We have no idea who's telling the truth here. However, it seems like, according to this article anyways, that there is documentation showing that they offered her more than she is claiming online. That does add a little bit of doubt to her story. In addition, there is the over a year at this point hinting that she might not be coming back to voice Bayonetta, which is a negotiation tactic. She could be dropping those feelers out there to see if she couldn't pressure Platinum on meeting a higher offer, or at least meeting halfway on what she was wanting, and then eventually they just bowed out and went with Jennifer Hale instead. The reasons for Platinum doing that are numerous, even if they ended up paying Hale more than they were going to pay Taylor for to begin with, because Hale is a recognizable name. She is up there with Troy Baker and Nolan North when it comes to voice actors. People know who she is. I don't know if voice acting has kind of hit that level where people will buy a game solely because of the actors in it, but it does bring a certain level of prestige when you can nail one of these names to bring in for it. Jennifer Hale, to her, I don't know, credit or derision or whatever you want to look at it as, has more or less kind of stepped back from this interview. She put out a statement recently talking about how she can't talk about these events, and that was more or less it, following up with saying my reputation speaks for itself. Okay, whatever that means. This whole thing is kind of a mess. I don't know really who to believe here. It sounds like a contract negotiation gone horribly wrong that kind of came out in public. It does sound like Platinum just kind of went, okay, whatever, we'll just go with someone else. And Taylor didn't care too much for that. And now it seems like Taylor's kind of gone on, I don't want to say damage control, because that alludes to that she might not be telling the truth, but it certainly seems like things are lining up against her statement originally. If I were to give my opinion on this, I do believe that a character like Bayonetta probably justifies more, but I feel like Taylor might have been embellishing at least a little bit on what was being said in that video. That's my opinion. I have no facts or truth to make it up. That is just my opinion. However, I think all this is mute because at this point the dialogue has been recorded. The game is ready to launch later this year, later this month even, and it doesn't really matter all that much. And as we know, boycotts just don't work when it comes to video games. I point you to the Modern Warfare 2 boycott meme. You can all look that up later. Let's see, Rocco Gaming V in chat says they loved Bayonetta 1, didn't play Bayonetta 2. Don't mind not playing Bayonetta 3, especially for a good cause. See, that's the crux of the problem here, Rocco. I don't know if this is a good cause or not. I don't know if Taylor's lying to me. I don't know if Platinum's lying to me. It certainly seems that from independent journalist outlets that they are saying that Platinum might be telling the truth here. I have no clue. I don't know. I have no idea. That is up for all of you to decide. Who has more to lose? I don't know. I don't think anyone has anything to lose here. I think that this is, like I said, just a contract negotiation that got real nasty. Real quick, in fact. I have no opinion one way or another on it. I have my leanings that I think Taylor might have embellished what she was saying on there a little bit, especially when you're having both Bloomberg and VGC coming out saying, hey, we've seen documents that say she was offered more. Or at least, let me rephrase. Their sources say they have seen things that said she was being offered more. That said, you have two separate sites of two separate sources kind of verifying the same thing. That's where it gets sticky. I don't know. I have no idea. I wasn't going to play Bayonetta 3 anytime soon anyways. It's a franchise I only have a middling interest in, and there are many better things, in my opinion, that are coming out soon, so I'm more focused on that. However, this is one of those stories that lit up real fast as people started attacking Platinum and Jennifer Hale over it. And then as more and more information comes out, people are now attacking Taylor over it. And it's just it's an interesting train wreck to watch unfold. Let's see, chat saying, I'm just saying that if I recorded everything and I don't get what I agreed to, I'd raise hell too. So I don't know if she recorded anything. That's just it. I don't think Callisto recorded anything. They were negotiating what her pay was going to be, and she said, I don't like that. And they went, okay, well, then we'll find someone else. So I don't think she recorded anything. I don't think any transaction happened to begin with. I didn't see anywhere that Taylor recorded Bayonetta 3's voice lines and she didn't get paid for it. It looks like that she just didn't do any of the work. That like they were in the negotiation stage for her to do the work and she said no. That seems to be what the case here is. Anyways, let me know what you all think about the story down here. I know there's a lot of people who have a lot of very extreme thoughts on this one, both ways. Keep in mind, this is still somewhat developing. It is very much a he said, she said at this point. I know there's a lot of unusual heat around this one. And I'm not too sure why. Before we move on to this, let's take a look at chat one more time. No harm, no foul then. I'll play Bayonetta 3. Thanks for convincing me. I'm not convincing you of anything. I'm just telling you what I think I know. As far as I know, she has done no work on the game. As far as I know. I could be mistaken. Let me know if you've heard otherwise, and let me know down in the comments below or wherever you might be watching this video at. All right, next topic. Right here, and this falls into the category of we all saw this coming. G4 officially dead. This is via Deadline. Comcast pulls plug on G4 TV, ending comeback try for the gamer-focused network. Comcast Spectacor division is pulling the plug on the video game-centric network G4 TV, whose early incarnation in the 2000s remains a cultural touchstone for many millennials just a year after its relaunch. In a memo sent out to all employees, Spectacor CEO Dave Scott explained the company's investment in efforts to revive the network just didn't gain traction. A few dozen employees and contract workers are affected by the shutdown. Comcast said it will assist them with outplacement and consider some for internal opportunities. Several media and tech ventures centered on the game community have hit turbulence recently, with Facebook shutting down its gaming app and Google winding down its service Stadia. Then, a startup billed as the MTV of video games also went bust. I didn't even know what Venn was. That's how I've never even heard of that one until today. Here's Scott's full memo, which Deadline obtained from a source. Team. As you know, G4 was introduced last year to tap into the popularity of gaming. We invested to create the new G4 as an online and TV destination for fans to be entertained, be inspired, and connect with gaming content. My apologies if I'm stumbling over reading this. No human actually talks like this. This is corporo speak at its finest, so just bear with me. Over the past several months, we've worked hard to generate that interest in G4, but viewership is low and the network has not achieved sustainable financial results. This is certainly not what we hoped for, and as a result, we have made the very difficult decision to discontinue G4's operations, effective immediately. I know that this is disappointing news, and I'm disappointed too. I want to thank you and everyone on the G4 team for the hard work and commitment to the network. Our human resources team is reaching out to you to provide you with any support, to discuss opportunities that may be available, and to answer any questions you might have. Thank you again for all of your hard work, G4. For G4. The kicker to this is that this came out on a Sunday, I believe. I believe this came out on Sunday. Let me just double check that. October 16th. Yeah, that would have been a Sunday. People aren't checking their work emails. There are people who found out that they were essentially fired from G4 by fucking Twitter. So regardless on your stance on G4 or not, whether it should have existed or not, that's fucked up. That's fucked up, and they should absolutely have to be lambasted for that, those at Comcast. But what more are you going to say about Comcast? They're one of the most hated companies in America. Like, how much worse can their reputation get? As far as G4, I think we all knew that this was doomed to failure the moment it was announced. It is a TV channel in an age where TV is rapidly dying. And what little goodwill they had, and there was some goodwill here because people do have fond memories of G4, despite it being even not that successful the first time around here. There's a lot of rose-colored glasses with G4, but it did have that nostalgia, those member berries associated with it. What little goodwill that they had was completely spent over a few outbursts from a couple of personalities that they had, and they just killed any interest that people might have had in watching this come back from the grave. Sorry. It is always rough to hear about layoffs because love or hate people like Frost Kuhn or Adam Sessler or the Completionist, whether you love these or hate these people, it's not just them being let go. There are a myriad of producers, cameramen, technicians, writers. G4 staff was bloated, would be putting it nicely. I think they said something along the lines of 200 people working on this. That's one hell of a head count. And now all these people suddenly don't have a job. And they found out about it through fucking Twitter on a Sunday. And while you might rightfully or wrongfully, depending on your point of view, aim your ire at those aforementioned hosts, Frost Kuhn, Sessler, etc., and about how they killed G4 with their unhinged rants. Sure, they might have. They might not have. And they may or may not deserve to lose their jobs here. Those people will always find another place somewhere because they're part of the clique. The key grip, the cameraman, the staff writer, the copy editor. Those people might be fucked. That's who you need to think about when companies like this go under. Don't think about the named personalities, the people that you love or that you hate. Think about the smaller people before you champion something closing down. Now, that said, I do hope that those 200 plus staff members at G4 were able to see the writing on the wall. And I hope that they had their resumes ready to go. I hope they had them polished up as early as June, or because it was obvious that this was not going to last. Unfortunately, I kind of wanted to see what G4 could do, and then we saw what they could do. It was Attack of the Show. It was a couple of esports things, and it was just Ninja Warrior over and over again. Kind of like the bad old days, those days when they were like bleeding out in 2014. when it was just you'd get one episode of X-Play a week, and then it was nothing but attack, Ninja Warrior and Cheaters and Cops reruns. It kind of came back feeling like that already. And the moment that happened, we knew it was going to happen. But the jig was up, as it were. No, I'm not drinking vodka on stream. That's just water. Normally I have tea, but it's water today. So G4, maybe we'll try again in another 10 years. maybe you get reincarnated again on the wheel of life, and we'll see how we feel about you in another decade or so. But for now, you rest easy, because we really don't need you at this point in time. Let me know if you guys had any interest in G4. Let me know if you even watched the original G4. I know that there are people now who weren't even born during the height of G4, when you had Cinematech and Arena and Portal and all those weird, wacky shows that G4 tried to do. I have very positive memories of G4, but I also fully meant that it was just something I would put on in the background while I was playing games elsewhere. So it was just kind of like a podcast almost that you don't even really listen to. I still think that one day someone can do something with this, but for now it needs to rest. Moving on, we have a bunch of quick-ish stories to round out the night. One coming up here. Normally I would put this in upcoming releases, but given the subject nature, I feel like it needs its own little segment here. Seems like we're finally going to get some Silent Hill news. This was tweeted a couple days ago on the Silent Hill official account over there, saying in the latest update for Silent Hill series will be revealed during the Silent Hill transmission on Wednesday, October 19th at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That is tomorrow. That's roughly about 13-ish hours from recording of this. I am looking forward to seeing what's on there. I'll probably stream it, because that is going to be happening during my normal Twitch stream. So we'll probably pause things, switch over to Silent Hill announcements, and then come back. There are a bunch of things that could be announced during this. We've heard rumors that multiple Silent Hill games are being in development. There is the alleged Silent Hill 2 remake by Bloober Team. There was a listing that said Silent Hill 2 Part 1. Dear God, don't divvy up into 2 parts, but that could be a thing. I don't know if I put much faith in that. There are supposedly a smaller, more adventure, like text adventure, but I don't want to say text adventure, but more adventure-y, Telltale style Silent Hill in development. There are multiple projects and multiple rumors that have been swirling around this franchise for like 2 years now. There was a time that we all thought Abandoned might be somehow tied into this, and Kojima was working in on it, or at least that's what the rumors were. I doubt any of that is true anymore, by the way, just to be 100% clear. I would imagine that we'd probably get 3 announcements. Whatever the hell Bloober Team is working on. Whatever the hell that weird British Silent Hill thing was supposed to be. And then maybe a third smaller project. Maybe they'll do also some kind of HD re-release. I know they did the HD remake of Silent Hill 2 and 3 already, which weren't that great. Maybe they're working on it again. Who knows? All that we do know is that Konami is looking at the remasters and remakes Capcom has been cranking out with their Resident Evil games, and they're licking their chops. There is a reason why we're getting the new Suikoden game. Well, I don't want to say new Suikoden games, the remastering of 1 and 2 again. There's a reason why they're giving us the Castlevania and Konami collections. It's because they want to jump on that nostalgia bandwagon that so many of us seem to be on right now. And Silent Hill, of course, is one of those games that have been clamored for years. My hopes for this are high, but my expectations are low. I just don't trust Konami not to fuck this up. And as much as I like Bloober Team, I think they've done some great stuff in the past, I don't think remaking Silent Hill 2 is something they can really do. They have one style of game that they do, and that's the walking simulator, Layers of Fear style game, where you just kind of go down guided paths. Now, some people might point to the Medium, but at the end of the day, Medium was just a third-person walking sim, because that was still a very linear A to B to C kind of story. And I'm not looking for like an open world or anything here, but it very much was a walking sim with just a third-person camera instead of a first-person camera. I know that's not necessarily too descriptive, but if you play the game, I think you'll see what I mean. And as far as whatever the other Silent Hill rumors goes, who the hell knows? I guess we'll all find out by this time tomorrow. We'll have a better idea of what's going on. So yes, Silent Hill news is incoming. Finally, we can stop with the rumor mongering. All right. Speaking of, I know I said I'm going to stop with the rumor mongering, but I'm going to do this here. There have been rumors that NetherRealm Studios has been working on a new Mortal Kombat for a while, and we had a new Mortal Kombat announced today. And I promise you, you're going to hate it. Warner Brothers announces Mortal Kombat Onslaught. What is Mortal Kombat Onslaught? Well, Onslaught is a new collection role-playing game to be launching globally in 2023 for mobile devices. Phone RPG Mortal Kombat. Have fun with that. Developed and co-published by award-winning NetherRealm Studios, Mortal Kombat Onslaught will feature the first mobile-exclusive cinematic story experience for the franchise, where players must build a team of fighters from a vast roster of characters and unleash them in massive real-time group battles to stop dark and dangerous threat from wreaking havoc across the realms. Ed Boon, Chief Creative Officer of NetherRealm Studios, said the following. With Mortal Kombat Onslaught, we have reimagined Mortal Kombat into a strategic, team-based collection RPG with fast-paced group melee combat that both new and existing fans can enjoy. I fully admit, it's been a little trolling when I set this up, but I did say you're going to hate it. Also, I don't think that this is the Mortal Kombat everyone think, or the whatever it's been rumored that NetherRealm is working on something. It'd be Injustice 3 or Mortal Kombat 11 now, I think. What they've been working on is not this. I promise you that they're doing something else other than this. I don't think that they're stupid enough to release this and go, what? That was the game we were talking about. No. We've all seen the reaction to Diablo Immortal at this point. No studio is stupid enough to do that. I would be willing to bet that we would probably hear some Mortal Kombat news to kind of follow this up here in the next 6 weeks or so. In fact, I would say the Game Awards, the Keeleys, would be a perfect time to drop whatever NetherRealm was really working on. Not to say they're not working on this. I'm sure this has some times. This is one of those investor projects that you do. The game that you launch to not necessarily sate fans, but to draw in them shareholders to put a smile on their face. The people that control the purse strings of the company. Because every shareholder wants a mobile style game with recurring spending, which I guarantee you this will have on their portfolio somewhere. This is designed to make them happy, not you happy. The thing that is designed to make you happy, I get the strong feeling will be announced very soon. And by very soon, I mean within the next quarter or so, the next 6 to 12 weeks. But we'll see. Once again, I think the Game Awards is perfect for that. We have one more news story before we get into delays and upcoming events and all that good stuff. And we're going to talk about the DualSense Edge and how it's going to release on January 26th. Way sooner than I thought it was. I thought that this DualSense Edge would be a mid-2023, late 2023 product. But it looks like it's around the corner. Now, for those who might have missed it when we talked about it a few weeks ago, this is essentially Sony's answer to Microsoft's Elite Pro controller. At least I think that's what they call it. Where it's supposed to have customizable buttons, big triggers on the back so you have a better feel if you're playing a first-person shooter. It's essentially a jazzed-up DualSense. I like the idea. I will, however, say the Microsoft Pro, is it Pro controller, Elite controller? Forgive me, I don't remember. But they have the edge on them in the fact that you can actually customize your controller's colors and all that. For the most part, it seems like they're going to be picking the colors for you, which is going to be that white and black standard look. This is coming January 26th for a price of $200. Ugh, that's kind of a lot. To the blog. Today we're pleased to share that the DualSense Edge wireless controller, the first ever ultra customizable controller developed by PlayStation, will launch globally January 26th. Built with high performance and personalization in mind, the DualSense Edge wireless controller for PS5 invites you to craft your own unique gaming experiences through custom controls tailored to your playstyle. The DualSense Edge wireless controller will be available as a recommended retail price of $199.99. Further replacement stick modules will be available globally on January 26th for a recommended retail price of $20. So it's not even all of it. It sounds like you buy this for $200, and if you want the little bits here, the little gubbins, that's going to be an extra $20. It feels like you're nickel and diming things there, Sony, again. Why do you got to do that? Why couldn't you just include those little bits in the controller and charge $200 for it flat, or maybe even $220? But no, you do that nickel and diming shit. You always do that nickel and diming shit. Stop it, Sony. No. Bad Sony. Bad. Stop doing that shit. They're not going to, of course, but it just feels cheap when you do that. All right, those are the news stories that we have right now. I have a couple of delays I want to mention, and we're going to start off with a not delayed. Earlier today, Joe Miller over on Twitter said seems like the Callisto Protocol is delayed from December 2nd to February 12th, 2023. They're basing that on this picture right here that came from the Epic Store that had the date of February 12th, 2023. You can see it on the very top corner there. That's actually blocking it. However, it seems like that might have been a mistake because not too long after that, a couple hours go by, Callisto Protocol tweets out that, hey, we're shipping the game globally on December 2nd. So they are nipping that rumor in the bud, at least for now. No word on whether or not they were thinking of maybe delaying to February 23rd and then changed their mind, or if that just got put up on the Epic Store by mistake, or if it was just a troll that suckered us all in for a quick moment. But the Callisto Protocol, not delayed, will be coming out December 2nd. Watermelon Chat asks, what's Callisto Protocol? Callisto Protocol is the, let's call it what it is the Dead Space knockoff. Made by the guy who made Dead Space. It looks amazing. I'm really looking forward to it. That is what the Callisto Protocol is. I don't necessarily want to call it a knockoff, because when the guy who made the thing is essentially remaking his thing with a different name, is it really a knockoff? It was from his brain to begin with. But that's coming. That's coming. Things that actually are delayed. You have Firmament from Scion. Now, for those of you who don't know, Scion is most famously known for Myst, that awesome little adventure game that came out in the 90s. Looks like their next game has been delayed. As a result of discussions with key team members and staff, Scion is making the important decision to move the launch of Firmament to Q1 2023. The game is very close to complete, and development is rapidly approaching its final phase. To our backers, because of a Kiss carded, fans and friends, thank you for your continuing patience and support, your enthusiasm and excitement to lift our spirits daily. We cannot wait to share launch day new news with you in early 2023. Okay. I don't think many people are really excited for Firmament, because Scion, as important as a studio as they were, rather. I mean, Myst was one of the biggest PC games of all time. They really haven't done much recently. I think the last thing they did was Abduction, and it's not like that was really lighting the world on fire when it came out. But I'll be interested to see what they do with Firmament. Also, I like the Art Deco logo they have on here. Gives strong Rapture vibes. We'll see if it has anything to do with like that stuff. It clearly has nothing to do with BioShock, but I'll be curious to see if they do anything along those lines with it. Also delayed, the console release of Humankind is delayed until further notice. This was Amplitude's Civilization style game that came out on PC, kind of middling reviews. They were making a console version of it. Now delayed indefinitely. Whenever you see the words delayed until further notice or delayed indefinitely, don't be surprised if just flat out canceled happens soon. So if you were looking forward to playing Humankind on consoles, I would not hold your breath. We have two upcoming events I want to get over with before we go into new releases. One, the aforementioned Silent Hill transmission. Once again, coming Wednesday, October 19th at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We also have, not to be outdone in survival horror stuff, Resident Evil having a showcase on October 20th. And that begins at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll also be streaming that because, once again, that will be during the normal streaming days if you want to come by and have a bit of fun with that. 1 second. That brings us to new releases. We have a whole bunch of stuff coming out this week. We have Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed on the PC, PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One, and Series X. Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed is a fun multiplayer game perfect for all skill levels. 4 proton pack wielding Ghostbusters attempt to catch ghost hunting. I'm sorry, let me start over again. 4 proton pack wielding Ghostbusters attempt to catch a ghost hunting unique locations in asymmetrical multiplayer battles, online or offline. This is from Ilphonic. I believe those are the guys that also did that Predator game. I don't know if that's... Ilphonic's not necessarily a solid studio. They're all right. They're kind of hit and miss. So if you're into asymmetrical multiplayer games, though, this might be up your alley. Also, they brought back Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson to reprise Winston and Ray, which I thought was cool. Bill Murray, of course, said fuck off because he's Bill Murray, and he just doesn't want anything to do with anyone anymore. Also out this week, A Plague Tale Requiem on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X. Embark on a heartrending journey into a brutal, breathtaking world and discover the cost of saving those you love in a desperate struggle for survival. Strike from the shadows or unleash hell with a variety of weapons, tools, and unearthly powers. This is the rat game. You play a young girl and her younger brother in 14th century France, and there's a massive swarm of rats eating a whole bunch of people, plague spreading around, kind of dark. It's a stealth game. I really like this game. I played a little bit of it yesterday. I think is excellent so far. Admittedly, I'm only a couple hours into it, but I love the first one as well. Also out this week, The Valiant on PC. Embark on a journey of brotherhood and redemption in The Valiant, a squad-based RTS set in 13th century Europe in the Middle East. Command and level up your medieval knights as you fight through an epic single-player campaign. Then take your skills online in both cooperative and competitive multiplayer modes. I love RTSs. Love the time period. I was given a code to this by those fine folks over at Evolve PR, so I will be streaming this tomorrow. Really looking forward to playing this. Also out this week, Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection on the PC. It's Uncharted 4 and Uncharted Lost Legacy on PC. Y'all know what Uncharted is. If you've been waiting to play on PC, this week's a chance to do it. Warhammer 40k Shoot Us Blood and Teeth comes on the PC, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Series X, and Nintendo Switch. From the developers of Guns, Gore, and Cannoli franchise comes a new 2D run-and-gun platformer, Warhammer 40k Shoot Us Blood and Teeth. Spearhead an orc invasion, destroy the Hive City, and kill the war boss. Here we go. I'm really looking forward to playing this. This is a run-and-gunner, so think Contra, Alien Hominid, Metal Slug, but set in the Warhammer 40k universe, which I am a sucker for. I will be playing through this sometime next week. Really looking forward to it. Also out this week, and once again, another game that I've been really looking forward to, Faith: The Unholy Trilogy on PC. As a young priest, struggle against demons, insane cultists, and your own weakening faith in this pixel horror game inspired from the classic 8-bit gaming and the satanic panic scare of the 1980s. This is a horror game that is designed to look like it came not from Nintendo, but from the Atari days. And I am super psyched up to play this. It looks creepy and spooky as hell. It's going to be an excellent game to play on the week of Halloween next week. I'm really looking forward to Faith: The Unholy Trilogy. It's been in development for a while. Absolutely going to play it. Absolutely going to stream it. Really looking forward to get my hands on it, finally. Two more to round out the rest of the news here. We have Persona 5 Royal coming out on PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and Nintendo Switch. Don the Mask and join the Phantom Thieves of Hearts as they stage grand heists, infiltrate minds of the corrupt, and make them change their ways. This is the port of Persona 5 Royal that came out on PlayStation 4. It's finally released on multiple other systems. I love this goddamn game. If you like JRPGs at all, you owe it to yourself to take a look at it. If you played Persona 5 and didn't play Royal, I would say the extra content in Royal is worth going through that game again. It is just for the banger soundtrack alone. Goddamn, do I love this Persona series. Also rounding out the list here, Gotham Knights on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X. Batman is dead. It is now up to the Batman family, Batgirl, Nightwing, Red Hood, and Robin to protect Gotham. I love the Arkham games, and I know that this isn't made by Rocksteady. They're doing the Suicide Squad, which looks amazing, by the way. I want to enjoy this. I don't think I'm going to, though. Everything I see about this, it's just one PR disaster after another. It looks cringy. We all know Batman's not going to be dead. I know spoilers for the game are out there right now. I haven't seen any of them, but come on. We all know that somewhere at the end he's going to either turn out to be brainwashed or brought back to life somehow. We know this is going to happen. DC is just not going to let Batman be dead for the entire game. There was that cringy-ass fight trailer when they had Livin' La Vida Loca playing. Like, not even like the actual song, but a cover to it playing. There's the 30 FPS versus 60 FPS controversy about it. This game looks like it's in trouble. This game has free on Epic Store within 6 months written all over it. I want to play it, but I think I'm just going to go back through and play the old Arkham games again instead and kind of scratch that itch because it's been a while. But yeah, if you are looking forward to it, more power to you. It is 4-player co-op, I believe. And that should come out this Friday. If you do get it, let me know how it is. Let me know if I'm wrong on that, because I want to like it. I just don't think I'm going to. And that wraps things up. Thank you all for showing up. This has been GamePoints episode 330. We do stream this live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time right here at twitch.tv/GamePoints. And I encourage all of you to show up and join the conversation like many of you do. If you can't join us live, however, you can also watch us on a myriad of video hosting platforms, YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, etc. You can follow myself, Stephen Brown, at CapitalistPig21 on Twitter, and you can also join our Discord, which is down there somewhere. If you like what you saw here too, you know what a streamer wants: likes, bits, follows, shares, subs, all that good stuff. Links to the stories I talked about, by the way, will be posted down there so you can read them yourselves, or over on our Discord server. Once again, link down there somewhere. Anyways, that does it. Thanks for showing up. This has been GamePoints. Until next week, I'm out of here.